Law nerds, we're called to order. Order in this court. There's a verdict in the Depp versus Heard case after 2.5 days of deliberation. I mean, it's Wednesday. They deliberated for 2 hours on Friday, and then it was a 3-day holiday. They deliberated all day on Tuesday. They took the lunch break, it seems, to think about it, came back and said, we're doing this, announced that there was a verdict, and true to her word, Judge A said the verdict will be announced an hour beyond when it was announced. So it's announced, and then we've got an hour beyond, which is just about 45 minutes from now. So there will be a verdict announced live in court in about 45 minutes. We are going to play it live. What I'm going to do leading up to that is not just answering questions, but we're going to go through the verdict forms one more time. So as this verdict comes down, you know what's being read, because that normally happens pretty quickly. Thank you, law nerds, for being here. I told you I had to pop off and do a real quick interview and pop back on. Today has been wild. Today is going to continue to be wild. So you're in court now. Whatever else is going on in your life, it's like, I'm sorry, court has resumed. I'm teasing, but also not really. Court has resumed. What are the possibilities? The possibilities are that no one is liable for defamation at all. The possibilities are that there is some liability on some of the counts and none on the others. The possibilities are that there is liability and no damages. So we're going to go through those verdict forms and take a look at what they're going to be deciding. I'm keeping my eyes on the news feed, and here we go. We're on verdict. Well, we're not on verdict watch. There is a verdict, and then I'm going to stay live. I'm sure the attorneys will have press. What we're already seeing, Emily, is your screen shared? No. Why would your screen be shared? We are professionals here. What we are already seeing is there is already an area for the attorneys to come out and give statements afterwards. We will stay around until after those statements are given and process all of this together. I am going to react, I am going to think, and then we will start talking about it. We have 45 minutes. Replay crew, love you. I'm sorry that you couldn't be here live. We are going to timestamp everything down below. If I fall off my chair, that'll be timestamped too. All right, it is time. Law nerds, we're going to roll the intro. I'm going to try to grab as many super chats as I can. As always, when the streams get full, and I imagine today we will have a lot of people in here, I will do my best to grab them. If you are going to not love if I can't get to it, please just put a Q in the chat. I will try to grab it. DM me and let me share that with me. Email me. My email's public. I will see those. I just go through it slowly. Please don't feel obligated to super chat. I appreciate your support. Thank you for sharing in this moment, but it is not an expectation at all. So with that, we're going to roll both intros. Hey there. If we haven't met yet, I'm Emily D. Baker, the badass lawyer and everyone's favorite legal commentator. I'm the host of The Emily Show, and I break down the legal shit behind the news and pop culture stories we all want to talk about. I have been a licensed attorney for over 15 years, but this is not legal advice. I should warn you, I'm a big fan of the cursey words. This channel is where the law nerds unite to talk about facts, not fuckery. Okay, so what we are hearing from reports is that Johnny Depp is in the UK still, will not be present for the verdict. We are hearing that Amber Heard will be present for the verdict. If you would like to memorialize, Emily, are you going to share the Law Nerd Shop? Yes. If you would like to memorialize your love of this case, this channel, this community in, something that's going to make you smile every day, we added some designs based on this trial to the Law Nerd Shop at lawnerdshop.com. We've got the objection here, say water bottle. My kid's already stolen this from me. I love the rainbow gradient. Pride stuff will be up soon. We also have the grumpy mug. We have all of our I Have Questions merch. Tank tops are coming. We are sourcing tank tops. These also come in sticker form if you just want to plop it on the things you already have. So Law Nerd Shop is there. All of the stuff is there. We are coming with tank tops, but for now, we have all of this from the Law Nerd Shop that is drop shipped to you. And that is the way we can keep not just our costs low, but make sure that we are not making stuff that you don't need. So these are being printed on demand, and that is how we run the shop. So LawNerdShop.com if you want to just, memorialize both your love for the channel, support the channel, and all of it. So with that, let's get into the verdict forms, because this is what the jury is going to have to decide. We do ship internationally, and for those of you asking if there is anywhere that it doesn't ship, it will tell you. But yes, we do ship internationally, and because the distributor we use has locations internationally, we don't have to deal with as much of the VAT tax because it's being produced and shipped within the country. So there are locations to make sure that it's not all being shipped here and out. So that. So 3 p.m. Eastern time. So the verdict is in a little more than half an hour. And I have feelings. I'm just like, ah. Are you feeling that way? Ah. Is that how we're all feeling? Are we all feeling like, this is how I feel waiting for my own verdicts. Like I am invested in this case. We've watched so much of it and I am just so invested in this case with all of you. Let's look at what the jury has to decide so that as the judge reads this, I'm assuming it's the judge. It could be the foreperson. They won't be on camera if it's their voice. It could be the judge. It could be the foreperson, but it also could be the court clerk. I imagine in a case this high profile, the judge will just read it herself, but we will see. We do not know, but we will see. Let's go through what this jury has to decide together, shall we? And yes, I'm keeping an eye on all the feeds. When they push into court, when the feeds push into court, we will push into court with them. So yes, Madison, the verdict is going to be read. The verdict has been reached and the verdict is going to be read in just a little, like 35 minutes. So, you guys I see you blowing up the shop. Thank you. I see it. My shop notifications are going like this. Question, will they poll the jury? Probably. And polling the jury, I will explain after we go through these forms. All right, let us get into this. And thank you for the over 100,000 of you that are here. Special verdict form, Mr. Depp's claim against Heard. These go in order. Depp's claims and then Heard's claims. I actually made notes. Depp's claims first, then Heard's claims. So they're going to have to get through all of these and then move on. For those of you asking about hearsay shirts, they are coming. They are just not ready yet. I'm waiting until the tank tops are ready. There will be another drop shortly. So thank you. All right, let's go to this. Mr. Depp's claim against Miss Heard. There are 3. Claim 1 is the headline. This is the one the jury was asking about. So claim 1 is the headline. As to this statement appearing in the online op-ed entitled, Amber Heard, I spoke up against SV and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. This is the statement they have to decide. I spoke up against SV and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. That is the statement. And then they have to answer all these questions. And the court is going to have to read them. Answer yes or no. If you answer question 1A, no, proceed to question 2. So the first thing we're listening for from the judge is yes or no on question 1A. If it is a yes, then they have to keep going. If you answer yes, then answer yes. The statement was made or published by Heard, yes or no. The statement was about Mr. Depp, yes or no. The statement was false, yes or no. The statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp, yes or no. The defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard, yes or no. Due to the circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp, yes or no. If you answered yes to each of these things, then has Depp proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice, yes or no? You could get a yes up here, all the elements of defamation, but you still have to get a yes down here for malice. So it's yes, yes, and then they move on to the next one. So I think question 1 is the most likely. If they go no on question 1, I am not optimistic that any of the others will be a yes. I think that if there is a yes here, then we will see. But I think this statement, the headline, is the most likely. That's just it's like my opinion. That's my opinion. I think this is the most likely. Could the jury do something that I don't think is the most likely? Absolutely. They're the jury, not me. I think this one's the most likely. So if there's a no here, I'm going to have questions. And I think that maybe they're going no to everything. That will just be my feeling if we're hearing it. And I'm going to try not to talk over the judge reading this in because I imagine it will be fast. Statement number two. Statement number two. Statement number two. As to this statement appearing in the op-ed entitled A Transformative Moment for Women, this is the print edition. This goes to the print edition. 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse. I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. 2A, do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements for defamation? I think this is the least likely. So when it comes to what could Johnny Depp win or lose, I think this is the least likely. So thank you, Leonards. I see you hitting the shop. I see you getting it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm literally watching it come in. I appreciate you. So I think this one's the least likely. I anticipate a no on this. I'll be surprised if there's not a no, but I'm here to be surprised. I'm here to be pleasantly surprised. Let's do it. Let's get a pleasant surprise. But I think this is the least likely. This is the print edition and the online op-ed. But this goes to the print edition. 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath. If the jury reads this literally, not with, this is why defamation by implication, but they could find, again, that this is a abusive relationship, or that because she spoke out, that she is representing domestic abuse, and they could find no on this and find yes on statement one. I honestly think they can. So statement two, it's the same thing. 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse. That's the 2 years ago statement. So I'm calling number one the headline. I'm calling number two the 2 years ago. And then they have to do the same thing. Answer yes or no. And then all of these have to be yes. And then this has to be yes. Everything needs to be yes, or it's nothing. Number three, as the statement appearing in the op-ed, a transformative print edition, Amber Heard, I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. I think that that is the most likely to lose. I think that that is not likely. I think this is, if the jury is looking at this going, how do we fairly parse this? I think it's very fair for the jury to find on one or two, and not three. I think this is the hardest one to prove. And I think with this being the hardest one to prove, it's fair for the jury to yeet it. And jurors will often do this where there's kind of a split the baby, throw a bone, not find everything. And I think it's fair for the jury to do that in this circumstance. I think this is the most difficult. I think it's not, I don't think this is true. I just don't know if it's defamatory. I don't think Johnny Depp was protected. So we'll see. So we'll see what the jury decides to do on this. This is the one I'm not expecting them to find. I'll be surprised, actually, if they do find a defamation on 3. And then, again, they have to answer all of these yes or no. These verdict forms would have taken them time. Yes or no, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. And then malice, yes or no. The malice are the big ones. And then, if they answered yes to questions 1, 2, or 3, they get to damages. Compensatory, the max is what the jury decides, will compensate you for damages done. Punitive damages are the you suck punishment damages, like you suck. Don't do this again. Punitive damages are where a jury can send a message. This behavior is unacceptable. So that's where punitive damages come in. And with punitive damages coming in, then the jury can max it out. The statutory maximum, the law maximum on that is $350,000. So it can't be higher than that. Yeah. The compensatory damages are the compensating damages. You lost this much. You lost this much in movie roles. You lost this much in your career. This is compensating you for what's actually lost. So hopefully that makes sense on the difference between the compensation and the punitive punishment. You suck, fuck you, do not pass go, do not collect a $200, pay damages. That's what the punitive damage is for. Not all jurisdictions limit punitive damages in that way. Some jurisdictions have unlimited punitive damages, and that's where you can see these like $1 billion settlements of like, hey, fuck you, we hate what you're doing, go away. Oh my God, Justine. Hi. Same. 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 I think the entire chat is nervous. Also, now I'm nervous because Justina's here, and I've been watching you for as long as I can remember. I was using one of Justine's earliest videos to explain to my son that tweets used to count as text messages, and they used to get charged for text messages, and he was like, "Wait, what?" Yeah, it was fun. We were talking about cell phone companies and how they charge for things. Special verdict form as to Heard's claims. So the jury has to get through the 3 claims for Depp. Cause 1, headline. Claim 2, the print and op-ed I spoke up 2 years ago. And claim 3, hey Dr. B. And claim 3 is that institutions protecting powerful men. Then damages. Then when we get past that, we've got to get into Amber Heard's counterclaims. So I imagine they'll read this in order. I will be shocked if they do not. Amber Heard's counterclaims are the statements by Waldman. So that's why this special verdict form is different than the other special verdict form. As to the statement appearing April 8th, 2020 in the online edition of the Daily Mail, Amber and her friends in the media used fake SV allegations as both a sword and a shield. So statement 1 is the sword shield statement with allegations of fake SV. Depending on their needs, they have selected some of her hoax facts as the sword, inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. So that's the statement 1, the Waldman statement. The jury has to find different things here. Do you find that Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Yes or no? If yes, was Waldman acting as an agent? Yes or no? The statement was about Heard? Yes or no? We get to yes on all of these. Are they about Miss Heard? Obviously. It says her name. No defamation by implication here. If it's defamatory, it's about her. The statement was seen by someone other than Miss Heard. These are the easy questions. The statement was false. It depends on what the jury does. I think it's going to be very interesting if the jury finds liability against Amber Heard and finds any of the statements against Depp or that Heard made about Depp by implication. If the jury finds any of those liability, I don't know if intellectually they can square it with this as a hoax. Because if you're finding that she's lying, is it defamatory to say that it's a hoax? And that's going to be a very interesting thing for me to see how they rule on the first 3 and then, or how they decide on the first 3 and then how they decide on these 3. So if you answered yes, then was there actual malice on the part of Waldman making the statement? But they have to get to these agency questions. And if they find Waldman wasn't an agent, then these are all no anyway. Statement number 2, appearing April 27th in the online edition of the Daily Mail. Quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but first attempt didn't do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses, searched, didn't see anything. Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed up the place. So this is the ambush hoax statements or the spilled a little wine statements, whatever you want to call them. That's number 2. And then they have to find the same things as to number 2. Do you find all the elements have been proven, et cetera, et cetera? And then number 3, also April 27th, 2020, we've reached the beginning of the end of the abuse hoax. So abuse hoax statements, number 3. And then answer yes or no, same things. Was he an agent? Was there actual malice? And if they get to all of those, Dr. B was trying to take my coffee. He's like, is it done? Hold on. I'll give it to you. I'll give you the coffee.
Well, listen how fast you're talking. Like you need more.
I didn't finish my mega pint of coffee. Thank you. Dr. B brought me reinforcements of the water. It's been a busy day. And then if they get to all of those and find any of them 1, 2, or 3, then they complete the damages part. If they don't find liability on any of those, then they don't do this. And again, then these are damages compensating Amber Heard for any loss. And we heard Elaine in her closing argument say, well, we didn't really want $100 million. We were kind of like, well, you sued for 50. And so we sued for 100. I think they only proved maybe 4 million, maybe. And even then, I don't know if the jury finds liability against Waldman. I don't know what they'll do on damages. Like literally not a guess, not a clue. No idea. Literally no idea. So compensatory damages and then punitive damages up to $350,000. And the jury has to agree unanimously on all of these things. They have to agree unanimously on all of it. And because I'm nervous, I'm just going to what's happening outside the courtroom or outside the courthouse because I want to see what's going on outside the courthouse. So I'm going to leave the volume of that off so we can just watch it together because I'm sure a lot of you are split screened and multi screened, and I don't know. I want to see what's going on, and I want to know the second they push in to the second they push into the courtroom. Jordan said, motion to produce a black on black facts not fuckery hat with the same logo as the mug, or just fuckery hat to match the facts hat. I can definitely do that. Jordan, I will take it under advisement. I can make these things happen. Motion granted. I can make these things happen. If y'all want a fuckery hat, we will make one. we will make them. My dad has some facts not fuckery merch, and I don't know how my mom feels when he wears it out in public. That's why we have some that have the F-bombs, kind of tampered. These are the Suburbans that the legal team has been appearing in. So I don't know if we're getting lawyers to the courthouse. I have my Law Nerd Pride shirt on. These are coming out next week. Can we get Dr. B just popped in and popped out. Dr. B is my husband. He has also been the refiller of provisions. So we're going to get to questions while I nervously speak at 1,000 miles a minute. It actually feels kind of like waiting for my own verdicts. And I would sit at counsel table and just like take a minute to breathe and just be like, oh, you guys talking about, is Dr. Curry in the chat? No. Dr. Curry, hello. I'm sure you're nervous too. You are in good company. The chat has like 165,000 people, but you're very welcome here. We stand smart women up in this chat, and you were amazing. So if you are in the chat, which is what the chat seems to say, and the Law Nerd chat is wise and smart and observant. So I believe chat. Allison said, I'm so sad I didn't get to see you the moment you found out there was a verdict. I yelled, Emily, come back. I was on radio in New Zealand when I was like waiting to talk to them, and that like when I started getting the messages that there was a verdict. So I was like, of course there is. I was like, of course there is. But also, I really appreciate that we don't have a verdict tomorrow when I have to get on a plane. So like, yay. There's a verdict today. Here's why I'm so happy that there's a verdict, because these parties have been locked at horns in litigation for over 6 years. I think everyone deserves an answer, and everyone deserves to be able to move on, no matter how you feel about any of the parties involved in this case. And I generally know the way the chat is leaning, but no matter how you feel about any of the parties in this case, everyone deserves to be able to move on from this. How they will move on, I think we will see. How the court of opinion has shifted, I think we've seen a tremendous shift in the court of public opinion. And while, yes, there have been plenty of editorials and op-eds and opinion pieces saying that this is kind of a disgusting display of humanity, I think that we have watched our judicial system work here. I trust juries. The law in this case is hard for Johnny Depp to overcome. The law for celebrities to seek justice for defamation is difficult. It is a high burden. But we will see what this jury does, and we will try to break down whatever this verdict is and talk about what we can parse from it. And then in the days and weeks to come, there will be more conversation. I didn't love the memification of some of the testimony, but again, the internet has free speech. Free speech isn't always kind, and the internet will do what the internet will do, but that doesn't mean we have to. I think this chat has been tremendously compassionate to all involved, and sometimes more compassionate than me. I have not had a lot of love for Elaine. I have tried to be compassionate in that she probably has a difficult client and it's a lot to deal with, but also misstating the law and the difficulty in framing some of the questions is just difficult to watch. And then she mocked Johnny Depp's voice, and I was like, oh fuck, we're out now. You're mocking the other party. Like, lawyers can go after lawyers. You don't go after the other human on the other side. And that is just, for me, unacceptable. And I didn't like seeing that in some of the experts we saw, like Dr. Spiegel, apparently in his deposition calling Johnny Depp an idiot. For all of my other ADHD folks in the chat, I'm sure that you have all had an experience where people in positions of power have called you all kinds of things, told you you weren't living up to your potential. And I think all of that's a whole bunch of bullshit. So I was absolutely, as a human, pissed off. And I was trying to take a deep breath and be like, can I see a way around this? And I'm like, no, I can't see the other side of this. There's no excuse for an expert in a case to make it so personal about an individual in the case. And those are some of the things that have been very difficult for me in watching this case. And I think it's completely fair to talk about the experts, the lawyers, and to evaluate their testimony. It's fair to evaluate the party's testimony. It's not fair to dehumanize people. It's not fair to call for death threats. Some of the vitriol, I can't see why it's needed, because there's room for questions. There's room to say that there are things in testimony that don't match other things in testimony. That's not vitriol. That is asking questions about what was seen in a court of law, and that is completely appropriate. So I see the chat saying that Amber Heard has arrived in court and that Court TV was showing her walking into the courtroom. All right, let's switch over to a different feed. And that's what we're going to be doing, a little bit of switching feeds here to see what we've got. We've got some feeds that are a little easier than others, because some feeds go to commercial, Court TV. Some feeds try to get all copyrighty sassy. So right now on Court TV, I'm not seeing Amber Heard walking into court. Let me just back up a little bit and see. Okay, I'm gonna back up to see their coverage, and we'll pull this up. I'm not going to try to give
before the case in the UK. She was not a party, but she was a big part of that case.
So they are
So she understands,
kind
I
of
think, a
commenting
little bit
over
about-
them arriving. I'm going to comment over them arriving instead. Sorry, Court TV. So it looks like we've got them arriving. We are just about 15 minutes out from a verdict. This hairstyle has become very popular towards the end of trial. I'm not surprised. I imagine, like, here's my question. Did Amber Heard have to get up every day? Hey, vidIQ, good to see you. Did Amber Heard have to get up every day and be like, verdict ready? Like, did that have to happen? That seems stressful, to have to be like ready to be on camera every single day. That seems like it would be stressful. So nobody has pushed back into the courtroom. I'm going to answer questions. We're going to go back to the live outside of the courtroom. And then as things start to push back, chat, I trust you. And you guys have been great. I liked the dress. I mean, I think that there's definitely been better outfits, but I like the black dress. I like the black dress. I do. I like the black dress. I like some of the braid styles that we saw. I could never do that. But also it'd be annoying to have to get up every day and be like camera ready. I mean, not that that's been my life. Not that my camera ready is the same as anyone else's. It's like, do we have a mascara? Our hair is straightened today. That's all we've got. Actually, let's just keep this in the smaller. There we go. So I can answer questions, and we're just going to keep an eye on what's happening. Camille Vasquez fangirl. I stand behind that sentiment. Hurricane Center should name their next hurricane C Hurricane Camille. Yes, Amber and Elaine will now both have PTSD from Camille. Not to mock PTSD, but I think that this was probably difficult for them. Glad I found you through this. I think the name Camille will go on their list the same way there's always that kid in like junior high or high school, when you hear their name ever as an adult, you're just like, There's always one. Chat, you're welcome. No last names, but you're welcome to share if there's like that person in your life that you're like, I could never name my kid this. I could never marry someone with that name. Like every time I hear that name, I'm just like, I think for Elaine and Amber, it's probably going to be Camille, because Camille was just such an incredible boss. And I love watching people do their job and do their job with excellence. I wanted to see good lawyering on all sides of this case, and we got some and not some. So, but we all have those names. There's always those people in our life where you're just like, all right. So we've got Ben Chu, Camille Vasquez, and Dude. And then we've got, I believe this is Jessica, that there is a Jessica and a Rebecca on the team, and I keep interposing their names, and I don't mean to. We've got people in the courtroom. We've got Elaine Bredehoft in purple. Elaine, I'm going to take that as a personal nod to the law nerds. I know that it's not. I am being facetious, but I'm taking it as a personal nod to the law nerds that Elaine is in purple today. We never got umbrage in pink, I don't think. I don't think that happened. I've got the volume turned on. We can't hear it. Hopefully we'll be able to. I'm going to look for a non-blurry court feed in a minute, but we've got a lot of the legal team here from Brown Rudnick. This Ben Chu is me at this moment. This is how I look before verdicts. That is how I looked before verdicts. Ben Chu. I've never related more to anything. This feed is killing me. All right, let me go find a different feed real quick and see if this clears itself up. let's see. Everyone is on break. So I'm going to go find another feed. I'm trying to answer questions. And oh, thank you to my wonderful producer, Miguelina, who's like, girl, I got you. Here's the feed. Thank you. The one that we've been relying on. Oh, the court feed is just not good on any of these feeds. That's less than desirable. All right, let's see if that clears up. Oh, the court feed is cleared up. All right, we're just going to go to court. We're going to keep it on. Sky News has been great throughout this trial. I like Elaine in purple. I imagine we'll see Amber Heard sitting here between her lead attorneys, Elaine Bredehoff and Ben Rottenborn. We've got Ben Chu at a moment ago was just like, I mean, once you look at the jurors' faces, that's where the interest lies. You look at the jurors' faces as they're walking in and see which lawyers they look at. And that is something that was always telling to me. I want to know which lawyers they're looking at. I forget this lawyer's name. We've seen a number of these lawyers in court, and this is more members of Amber Heard's legal team that had been sitting in the back row. I wonder if Amber Heard will come in with her sister. We've got purple for Elaine Bredehoff. Okay. I'm going to answer some questions. And we've got Amber Heard walking into the courtroom. So let's get to a few of these. Thank you again, Camille Vasquez fan. I appreciate the super chat. Let's see. If she appeals, would it be another trial? Do you think her witnesses would lie for her again? Chris, we've got to see what happens to know if there will be an appeal. So after we hear a verdict, I can answer some of those questions. If Amber Heard loses, do I think she will try to appeal? Yes. I mean, that becomes a money calculus. There will be a day where I will just rant about how large a factor money plays in the U.S. justice system, but today is not that day. Now is not the time. We are waiting. We are waiting for a verdict, people. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Question, does the judge know the verdict once the jury declared it? Yes. Or when it's announced in court. The judge knows now. You are my Bay lawyer on the tube. Thank you. I am here to be all of your favorite legal commentator on the tubes, on the YouTubes and the Twitters. You can, and the Insta books. You can go ahead and follow me all the places at the Emily D. Baker. But the judge knows, because the judge, all those forms I showed you earlier, the judge has to go through and make sure everything's filled out. If something's not filled out properly, they get sent back to do it again and fix it, because having mistakes on the juror forms is not uncommon, and the judge needs to fix it before it's read into the record. The attorneys don't know. The parties don't know. The judge and the court staff do know. Question, I'm a flight attendant and about to head on a flight for work. How fast after 3 do you think we will find out? Melissa, I know how tight your schedules are. Quickly, this judge has been right on the button. I think they will welcome the jury in. I think they will start reading the verdicts. So I imagine this judge has run with precision. I'm not surprised to find out that this judge is a retired Marine. This judge ran with precision. For all the rulings I may or may not disagree with, I think this judge was fair. I think there were rulings that I didn't agree with that went both ways, both benefiting Heard and Depp and both against Heard and Depp. So I think there were rulings on both sides that I was like, really? But they were consistent. This judge seemed pleasant, and this judge ran a tight ship. And that is really all you can ask for in this case. I love seeing the chat like delay the plane. I don't know. Maybe if the pilots are watching too. I enjoyed watching this with everyone too. Smiley one. And we're not done. There will be other cases. I don't know if there will be a case quite like this for a long time, but there will be other cases. Can the jury rewatch the trial after this? I don't know if they'd want to, but they can do whatever they like after this. The jury's information will be sealed from the media. Let's do it this way, since we're just watching court. The jury's information will be sealed from the media for a year. No names, no phone numbers. The jury can decide if they want to speak to the media, and they can make themselves known. So Whitney Heard is there in court. Did the best friend necklaces change chain lengths? I'm on Necklace Watch. That's the best friend's necklace. It seems like it's on a longer chain. Is Amber's on a longer chain too? I have questions about the necklaces. But I got distracted by the animal shirt here. That all I see is the nom 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 nom. I know that they're focusing on Amber Heard, but or Whitney Enriquez, her sister. All I see is the nom 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 shirt. I have gotten distracted. We'll talk about settlement after the verdict. Thank you for breaking everything down. You're welcome. I'm nerve-sighted is where we're at. We're all nerve-sighted. If Johnny loses, what do you think caused it? We're going to see what the verdict is, and then I will talk about why I think the verdict is what it is afterwards. Could Johnny appear by video? I don't think so. I'm sure he's watching somewhere. Probably not on this stream, but I'm sure he's watching somewhere, and hope that this is a nervous thing to go through, and it's nervous for the parties, nervous for the lawyers. You've picked these you've picked the jury. You've tried to seek justice for your client in this case, and it's in the hands normally of 12, but in this case 7. It's in the hands of 7 other people. The people that I feel I feel all of the bad for in this circumstance are the juror alternates who can't talk about this case until this verdict comes down and didn't get to deliberate. And if the alternates disagree with the verdict, it's got to be really hard to be like, that's not what I would have done. I being an alternate would just be so hard. So, question, Law and Crime says it's a bad look for Johnny not to be there. I mean, the verdict's already decided. The jury doesn't know that he's not going to be sitting there. So, I mean, do you guys think it matters? Let me know. We've got 234,000 people in here. You let me know. Yeah, let's put up a poll. Do you think it's a bad look for Johnny Depp not to be in the courtroom for the verdict? Let's just take a poll and see. I don't know if it matters all that much. So, we're across platforms. So I see 235 across platforms. You guys are like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. We're going to put up a poll and let's see. For those of you on the Facebooks, I'm sorry, I don't know how to do polls over there. So, I mean, it's someone's opinion that it's a bad look. I don't know if it matters. Does a verdict mean the jury did not hang? Yes. A verdict means that they did not hang. Question, if Johnny Depp wins, will Amber still be able to talk about him? There can be orders afterwards. And if you want to see what that looks like, go to my coverage of the Cardi B Tasha K case. There is actually a injunction ordered after that defamation case that lists out in specificity, cursey words and all, lists out in specificity, you will not say this about this individual going forward. So that can happen. It wouldn't happen automatically. They can come to court and ask about it. Laura, thank you so much for the super chat. Christy says, my daughter Nolan is listening and loves you. Hello, daughter Nolan. She says that you and I are very alike. Best compliment ever. Well, thank you for your daughter Nolan. I appreciate that. And thank you. Thank you. Do the attorneys have to wait for 3 p.m. with the rest of us to hear the verdict? Yes. The lawyers don't know what's going to happen. They are sitting there waiting, just like the rest of us. We got about 5 minutes to go. So yeah, this is heart pounding waiting for the lawyers. Sarah said, oh my God, I'm so nervous. If I didn't have you and the law nerds here, I must just do what Amber and the Yorkies did. Don't shit the bed. Somebody did. Somebody shit on that bed. We just don't. I don't know. I think there is evidence in court that you can make a reasonable assumption that it was human feces. DD09 said, what if any are, if I never, what if any are the pathways for the parties after a verdict? Let's see what the verdict is, and then we will kind of break down the either or of it. But legally, I can tell you what the legal pathways are. None and none. There's nothing else. The statute of limitation has run on all of these. There is just nothing else going on. Oh, Dr. Curry, I see your super chat. Thank you. I am your fangirl, and we stand, and your career is just admirable. Listening to Dr. Curry's qualifications, there are a number of experts who just had such incredible careers. It's one of the things I enjoyed most about this trial is being exposed to a whole cast of individuals that have really tremendous work and getting them to see them do good work in court. It was really nice to see tremendous experts in this case. Annette said, thank you for being you. You're welcome. Could Depp lose on statement 1 because technically it's true that she spoke up? Statement 1 is the SV. I broke this down the other day. Yes, if the jury goes with technically this is true, that's why they went to the underlying proving it. So if they believe that these things happened to Amber Heard, then they're going to believe that this is true. She spoke up. That's why they went so far to prove if she spoke up about something that was false, then it still has the implication is still defamatory. The implication is still, yes, you spoke up, but what you spoke up about also wasn't true, which is why this case pulled so far back into trying to prove what the underlying things are, whether the TRO was filed based on facts or not based on facts. That's why all of this pulled so far back into what happened or didn't happen. So That's why. But yes, they could. Runkle of the Bailey, good to see you in the chat. I'm sure the chat is happy to see you too. When someone is ordered to pay, say, $1 million and the other party has it, how do they pay it? By check, by Venmo? Do they get billed for it? There is a whole bunch of collection procedures. They normally do them by, I mean, I don't know, in this large of settlements, they do bank drafts, they go into client trust accounts. If you want to hear me rant about client trust accounts, CEG all of my coverage of the Girardi case. So generally, when you get these big settlements, the money goes into a client trust account. If the attorneys are on contingency, then those will come out, fees will come out. If the attorneys have been paid and the fees have been paid, then that won't come out, and then it'll just get paid out to the client. Normally, it doesn't get paid directly to the client, but it's going to depend on how these law firms do things, if they're on a payment plan. When I talked about the Keemstar Romeo Lacoste case, in that case, this is the court getting blurry, not me. In the Keemstar case, the Keem won, he won lawyer's fees. And then it was, can the lawyer's fees be paid or not? And he said, I will take less of lawyer's fees. I want your gold play button. And then they had to do an entire settlement agreement, like a separate settlement agreement to pay the lawyer's fees, how it was going to be paid. So if there are damages in this case, then there will be additional litigation about how it will be paid, when it will be paid, all of that. So there is more if there are damages and if there are compensatory or punitive damages. But who knows? Who's getting muffins after this? Everyone. Literally muffins for everyone. Would you interview Dr. Curry for a members live? I would absolutely interview Dr. Curry. There's not as much about this case and the ins and outs that she could talk about, but about her career, about being an expert in a high profile case and what that was personally like. I absolutely would. Would I do it just members only? I would share it for everyone because I believe that knowledge and her expertise should be shared by everybody, but I absolutely would. Absolutely would. Tiffany Clark said, Emily and Dr. Curry, you are both such amazing, inspirational and professional women everywhere. I mean, Dr. Curry has a much more admirable career than I do, for sure. It jumped and I couldn't finish reading it. We love and respect you so much. You are both the real MVPs. Thank you. We've seen some really incredible women in this case. We've seen some really incredible lawyering. We've seen this case has had a lot. What, if anything, has been your favorite part of this trial? This community has been my favorite part of this trial. There have been some really funny moments. I think one of those moments that was hilarious, and I will be talking about some of this tomorrow, but one of the moments that really made me laugh was when Ben Rottenborn was trying to make what were clearly sexts between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard literal, and was trying to make fetch happen. And I don't know if he understood that they were actually sexts or if he thought that they were literal, but I still can't get over that moment. How long does it take to read the verdict? It depends on how quickly they go. There are a lot of pages and a lot of questions. It's going to take a bit to read through all of them. So it's going to take a bit. Let's see. I'm not hearing any noise out of the courtroom. The microphones are not on. I want them to be on. So, it looks like the court is coming in. The audios are live, and we're going to get to verdicts. It's happening. It's verdict time, y'all.
I understand we have a verdict. All right, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Ron.
All right. Just for everybody in the gallery, reminder that this is a court of law.
Shut the fuck up.
And, regardless of the verdict, I will not tolerate any outbursts whatsoever. Okay?
Good job, Your Honor. There have been some moments in the gallery, and I'm not surprised that the judge said, do not pull any shit in my courtroom. This feed's a little blurry. I'm not going to change it because the audio is good. We see the judge's face, but we have a verdict, and we are going to get into that right now. The jury is walking in. These lawyers are going to be looking intently at the juror's face to see, are the jurors looking at Amber Heard? Are they looking at Camille Vasquez and Ben Chu? Are they looking down? What the jurors are looking at matters to these lawyers very, very much. And those would be the verdict forms that are being handed up. So here we go. The judge is going to be reviewing the verdict forms. It looks like the judge did not review the verdict forms in advance. The judge is going to review them now. That's going to take a minute for the judge to make sure there are no errors on the verdict forms. If there is anything not filled out, the judge will have to send those verdict forms back and be.
I can have the attorney's approach for a moment.
Yep. So it sounds like this is what I'm going to guess. There was something on the verdict form that is not all the way filled out. So the judge did not review these in advance. The attorneys are approaching. I imagine there is probably an error on one of the forms or something not all the way filled out, and that they are going to have to go back and fill it out. All right. Well, with that, we're going to sit here and wait. I need a split screen. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a split screen real quick because I want to see what's happening up at the bench. That's not it. This is it. All right. I don't like the audio out of this one has always had kind of tinny audio, but the attorneys are all up at the bench. Why? Oh, come on. All right. The attorneys are walking back. Let's see what the judge has to say. All right.
The jury, what I need you to do, I need to give the forms back to you.
Yep.
When you find for a defamatory statement, one or more, you need to fill out the compensatory damages. It has to be at least $1 for compensatory damages, up to whatever you feel the damages should be. And for punitive damages, you can put a 0 there, or you can fill out that as well. But I need those lines filled out. Okay.
Someone
right, so
won.
I can have you retire back.
Someone won. Someone won.
And do that
Someone won. Someone won. Someone won. Someone won, and they didn't give them any damages. Oh shit. That means somebody won. Does that mean Johnny Depp won? I don't know, but somebody won. What this means is that as the judge was going through, they found that some of these statements were defamatory.
All right. So we'll be in recess till we hear back from them. Don't go too far.
Damages were not filled out. So this judge did not review the verdict forms in advance. These verdict forms were being reviewed by the judge live, and they didn't fill out any damages. They have to fill out some damages. Somebody won. We can try to read into the quickness that the judge saw that error because Johnny Depp's 3 claims are going to be up at the top, Amber Heard's at the bottom. Somebody defamed somebody, y'all. Yes, Dr. B. I can't. There's nothing going on. It's going to have to. It's going to have to wait. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you, Dr. B. It's just going to have to be a minute. So with that, we're going to just leave this on. So will the lawyers know now? The lawyers might know. I wanted to see them sitting at the table talking to Amber Heard. Let's just go back and see, because the lawyers might have seen that verdict form. And I want to see how Amber Heard's lawyers are approaching her, because that is going to tell us a whole lot. So let's back up, and I want to see what Amber Heard's lawyers said to her, or how Amber Heard's lawyers spoke to her. Sorry, Dr. B is like, we are busy. I'm like, Dr. B, there's like 300,000 people here on YouTube. This is intense. Like, we're busy. We are busy. So he's going to be telling the rest of the attorneys what's going on. Oh my God, the quality on this is killing me. And they are going to be telling Amber Heard what's going on. So I don't know how we read the tea leaves on this because the quality is not great. I'm going to go back again and do it again, but they are explaining something to Amber Heard. And I love that the court photographer is there, but they are going to have to explain if they saw that there was a win or a loss, they're going to have to explain it. Okay. We're going to go to another feed and back up. I want to see this more. I want to see this more. Johnny Depp is not present in court. Let's go to one more, and I'm going to back up and see if we can get a better image of those attorneys talking to their client, because that is going to be very, very telling here. And it is not uncommon, again, that there are errors on the verdict forms. That is not unusual at all. I just want to see if I can find another feed that had a clearer image when this judge left the bench. So let's see. This is before they went on recess. All right, here. We're going to see if we can speed up. No, this isn't big enough. All right, let's see. This is not big enough. All right, there's the judge on the bench. There's the attorneys back talking. Let's see. That was the judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Ron.
All right. Just for everybody in the gallery, reminder, this.
Okay, we're not there yet. We haven't caught back up yet. Let's see. The attorneys approach. Good. And then they're going back for the jury to fill this out. Now I want to watch everybody's body language. I am not a body language expert. I just want to see what these lawyers' faces look like after they walked back from the bench. Did Camille and Ben Chu just give each other like a little handshake? Okay, let's look. Oh, very wise chat. Let's look at these attorneys and see how they respond as they are walking back, because that is going to be very telling. They now know what these verdicts are, and I want to see how they respond. They're going to probably wait till the jury goes back before we get anything. Oh, did I send out a text? Oh my God, I totally forgot to send out a text. I'm going to send out a text in just a second. Yes, no, I did send out a text. I remembered to send out a text. I did. I did. Why did this pause? Okay, this is the judge sending the jury back to fill it out.
Back to the operation room and do that for me, okay?
All right. This is the judge sending the jury back out. Why are we re-watching this? Because it matters. I want to see. God, there we go. That is the handshake I was looking for. That is what I was looking for. All right,
so we'll be in recess till we hear back from them. Don't go too far, okay?
I think Johnny Depp won at least. I think Johnny Depp won at least one of those claims with no damages, and I think that's what happened. I think that's what that was. I think that is and then it cuts out. I wanted to see them talking more to Amber Heard, but we saw Amber Heard and her lawyers getting together with their heads together. This is, again, we don't have verdicts in, but based on everything we've just seen, I think that these lawyers know that Johnny Depp has won at least one of his causes of action. We got a smile. We got a little bit of a handshake. That's not going to happen. So what they know on the verdict forms, and let me show you these verdict forms again, because we're going to talk about that real quick as we're waiting for court to resume. I'm going to leave the audio on. So if I scare myself with the audio, I apologize in advance. I'm leaving it on. So with this, we are, Emily, get your tech together. Jesus, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. And there's 300,000 of you here, and I'm nervous. This is the verdict form. So when they come to a yes or no, if they find no, then you don't get to damages. If they find no, you don't get to damages. So the judge would have gone through 1, 2, 3. These are for Depp. And the judge would have gotten to the last page and been like, y'all have to fill this out. It can be $1, but but y'all have to fill this out. And the only way you fill this out is if someone is liable for defamation. And the only way you have Camille Vasquez and Ben Chu squeezing each other's hands and smiling in court is if you have a positive verdict on at least one count. So you've got this is the point where it's like, you've got to fill this out. You have to come up with an answer on damages. It can be $1, but you have to come out with an amount on damages, even if they're just symbolic damages. So that means that the attorneys have seen that there was a yes or no on at least one of these, and then said, hey, they didn't fill out damages. The lawyers know what this verdict is. Amber Heard now knows what this verdict is. I hope that Johnny Depp's lawyers turned around and texted him so that he knows what they know, because if he was sitting in court, he would. So you guys are asking, could Heard and Depp have both won? I don't think so. Okay, you guys are saying no text sent. I saw it go through on mine, so I will send it again. I apologize if they didn't go through. I will send it again right now, but I saw it come through for me, so if it didn't come through, I'm going to do it again. Thank you. So I don't think they can both win, and here's why. If you're the jury and you say Amber Heard defamed Johnny Depp, then how do you say that it's defamatory to say that her statements were false? And essentially saying it's a hoax is saying that it's false. So the only way I can see it is if they split it where they get to, here, let me pull this back up. If they split it and get to the count one, I spoke up against SV, the headline one. If they get to this one and say that this is defamatory, Then you've got to go look at Amber Heard's statements. Amber Heard and her friends in the media made fake SV allegations. Well, you can't find that it's defamatory to call it fake if you're finding it's defamatory to say it. So you can't have count one and this one. And then this one was this ambush one. Maybe you can say that the penthouse event happened and that that's defamatory. So you could get count one for Depp and then this count. But then you can't find the rest of the op-ed is defamatory, because then it's not, if you find it's defamatory, then you can't also find that calling it fake's defamatory. That's logically where my brain has gone with this, but we will see what they do. So they didn't come back with any damages. And that's really interesting. So we're going to have to see what they do. We're going to have to see. I'm going to answer some questions. I'm going to send out another text because we are still on verdict watch. So for those, for our flight attendant in the chat that was boarding a plane, how soon after 3 o'clock? Well, it should have been soon, but the verdict forms weren't complete. On the jury to fix the verdict form. And I should go update Twitter, the verdict form. So this happens. This has happened to me in a number of cases that I've tried. It's painful, but at least you kind of know. Like, like once they have to fix the verdict form, if the judge is like, hey, you found all of this, but you didn't find this allegation. It's like, oh, well, it's a guilty if we're getting to allegations. Like if it's not guilty, the allegations don't matter because all of my trial stuff is criminal, though I've worked in civil. My trial experience is criminal. So with that, I'm going to try to answer some questions. Kudos for staying in your chair. I am nervous. Like I'm nervous, but I think if they come back, they're coming back with like $1. Did they forget the damages? Did the jury be like, okay, were they just like, we got through all of it and just now they've got to go back and decide on damages? The jury can hang on damages. The jury can take their time on damages. I don't know how long we're going to get for the jury to decide on damages. Yikes. Like yikes. Like yikes. Like yikes. It's just going to take time. So with that, we will see where we get with the jury. And I'm not surprised, but I'm also surprised, but like I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm also surprised. They are reading the verdict. I do not see them back in court. So they are not reading the verdict. They are not back in court. When they are back in court, we will be back in court. These are live feeds. I am feeding the live feeds live. So, and multiple live feeds. So when they push back into court, I will be back into court with them. Do not worry. Let's go to as many questions as we can get to. And that's it. Poll for damages, Rain. That's a good idea. Let's end our previous poll and do a poll for damages. Do we give them $1? $1, 7 million, above 7 million. Like, are they just going to go back there and be like, 7 million sounds good? Or are they going to go back there and be like, it's $1? I don't know. I'm nervous. Let me let Dr. B know that I took care of what he asked me to do. And let us go. All right. Woo! Y'all, I'm nerve-sided. I'm sweating and nerve-sided. So do you think it's a bad look for Johnny Depp not to be there for the verdict? No, 80%. Yes, 19%. And that might have been what his attorneys were counting on. So no and yes. All right, let's answer some questions. Oh, no. We are back in court. So we're going to keep that small and answer some questions as we can. Happy Pride Month. Thank you for your professional coverage from a fellow Tennessean. I know we talked about, it's the first day of June. It's the beginning of summer. It's the beginning of Pride. I feel like all good things. I saw another question coming in that I'm trying to grab. Cannot sit still. Well, yes, I get it. I have a couple little fidgets. So I have a couple little fidgets. This one I love. I need to add it to my Amazon store. That one I love. Because it's quiet. Some of you are saying 7,001 or $7,001. If they're coming back this fast, I think it's probably like $1 and like $0. I think we don't think you were damaged, but we do think it's defamatory, which is an interesting way to go. But that's what Johnny Depp asked for. His attorney said, Give us a verdict. Give him his life back. Give him his name back. And that's what we want. So let me try to get to some. BBC in UK is showing the court. We've got the court. Question, will the judge address and give her opinion? No. The judge will not give her opinion ever, probably. It's not the judge's to decide. The judge decides the law. The judge decides the law. The jury decides the facts, not the judge. So didn't Johnny Depp ask for no money and Amber Heard asked for $350K? Johnny Depp said, you can do $1. What we're looking for is his life back, his name back. Oh my God, this court feed right now. Is there weather in Virginia? Is this weather? Is this weather that's messing with us? Because all the feeds are the same because they're all coming out of one pool camera. So yes, Amber Heard's team asked for the $350 in compensatory damages. Team Depp looks very relaxed. Team Heard looks stoic. And I think that says a lot. The judge is not back yet. We're going to get to some other questions. I think they'll probably give him $1. The judge is coming back into the courtroom. Show the form again because it looked like the instructions for questions 4 and 5 were to answer them only if 1 and 3 were answered. Yes, that's right. But the judge wouldn't have sent them back if there wasn't a verdict. There is a verdict. Jury coming back. They look stoic. Yeah, they look pretty stoic. What do you guys think in the chat? Let me make this big. I wonder who the jury's looking at. Probably not Team Heard. She doesn't seem to be looking at the jury. Oh, this feed. She doesn't seem to be looking at the jury. That's very interesting. She has looked at this jury this entire time and is not looking at the jury now. And I think that says a lot. We have audio, but we do not have video. Switch feeds. There we go. Let's see if this one fixes itself.
Is this the verdict of the jury?
Yes.
All right. Is it unanimous? Yes. Thank you, sir. Jamie?
All right. The court clerk is going to read the verdicts now.
In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Mr. Depp's claim against Ms. Heard. 1. As to the statement appearing in the online op-ed entitled, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition. Quote, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. End quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
There we go.
Has Mr. Depp proven
wins count
by a
1.
greater weight of the evidence that question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication.
We need to get to actual malice.
Mr. Depp. Answer, yes.
We need to get to actual malice.
Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. Answer, yes.
Actual malice.
Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
Johnny Depp wins count 1.
2, as to the statement appearing in the op-ed entitled A Transformative Moment for Women in the Washington Post print edition and the online op-ed, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence. I think that was the most likely one. And faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition. Quote, then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force
Let's see if they come back on this one.
For women who speak out, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Wow.
Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that
Wow.
question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes.
Are they going to sweep all
Question,
three?
the statement was about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes.
Whoa.
Question, the statement was false. Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes.
Wow.
Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. Answer, yes.
Actual
Do you
malice.
find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
Wow. Johnny Depp wins count 2.
3, as to the statement appearing in the op-ed entitled A Transformative Moment for Women in the Washington Post print edition,
I think this is
in
the one he's most
online
likely to
op-ed,
use.
Amber
Lose.
Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition. Quote, I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. End quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Wow.
Has Mr. Depp proven by
They
a
swept
greater
it.
weight
They don't
of the
believe her at all.
evidence that
Okay.
question, the
Let's see if
statement
there's
was
actual
made
malice.
or published by Ms. Heard?
Wow.
Answer, yes.
I'm
Question,
really
the
surprised.
statement was about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes.
I mean, those are all going to be yeses.
Question, the
This
statement
is why
was
you don't
false.
have somebody in court,
Answer,
because
yes.
these photos is not what you want
Question,
if
the
you're Amber
statement
Heard.
has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp.
All right, let's see if they
Answer,
find actual
yes.
malice.
Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard. Answer,
Let's see if
yes.
there's malice.
Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of this statement, it conveyed a defamatory
There are still 3
implication
more counts.
to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence
Actual malice.
that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
Wow. All 3. Damages next.
As against Amber Heard,
Wow.
we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $10 million.
Whoa!
As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the
$350.
amount of $5 million. In civil
Whoa.
case number CL
I broke my pen.
2019-2911,
Whoa! Okay, there's 3 more.
Ms.
We're not
Heard's
done.
claim against Mr. Depp.
Whoa!
1. As to this statement appearing in the April 8,
I
2020
broke my pen. God damn
online
it.
edition of the Daily Mail, quote, Amber Heard and her friends in the media use fake sexual
Okay, they're not
violence
going to find any of
allegations
these. Oh my
as
God,
both a
15
sword
mil.
and shield, depending on their needs. They have selected some of her sexual violence hoax facts as the sword, inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, no.
And she's going to lose all 3 of
2.
these.
As to this statement appearing in the April 27, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt did not do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed,
Depp
and
must
left
be
after
thrilled.
seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, and then placed a second call to 911, end quote. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Oh,
Has Ms. Heard proven by a greater weight of the evidence that question, Mr. Waldman, while acting as an agent for Mr. Depp, made or published the statement?
oh,
Answer, yes.
oh.
Question, the statement was about Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was seen by someone other than Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false. Answer, yes. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven by clear and convincing evidence that the statement by Mr. Waldman was made with actual malice? Answer, yes.
Okay, she wins on count 2.
As to this statement appearing in the April 27,
About to rough the place
2020 online edition of the Daily Mail.
Interesting.
Quote, we've reached the beginning of the end of Ms. Heard's abuse hoax against Johnny
Interesting.
Depp. End quote. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, no.
She wins one count in her counterclaim.
As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $2 million. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $0.
No punitive damages.
Does either side wish to have the jury polled?
Yes, Your Honor.
They want to poll the jury. What? What
Members
a
of the
strange
jury,
result.
If this is your verdict, please answer yes. If this is not your verdict, please answer no. Juror number 6. Juror number 10.
Yes.
Juror number 15.
Yes.
Juror number 16.
Yes.
Wow.
Juror number 22.
Yes.
Juror number 27. Juror number 29.
Yes.
I do find that the jury's verdict is unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your service in this case. I want to thank you again for your dedication and your hard work during this trial. And I know I speak for everybody here when I tell you that we appreciate your sacrifices
What an
and your time and
interesting
your public
result.
service in this matter. Okay, so I'm going to have you go back to the jury deliberation room for one more time, and then we'll release you from there. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Wow. 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 We're going to go through those. Amber Heard wins one cause of action in her counterclaim. Compensatory damages of $2 million. 0 punitive damages. Punitive damages against Amber Heard of $5 million. Send a message that this jury was not pleased.
Okay.
with
In accordance
Amber
with
Heard.
law, I will amend the punitive damages award to the
$350,000.
statutory cap of $350,000 on Mr. Depp's award. Okay?
Interesting.
I will set this down for entry of an order. And can we do it on June 24th at 10 a.m. if that's available? All right,
Yes,
if
ma'am.
Mr. Chu, if you could prepare that order and then circulate it to Ms. Bretterhoff, and we can have all the objections noted on it. All right? All right, and if I get it before that date, I'll take it off the docket, okay? All right, again, thank you to all the attorneys for your professionalism, and you're welcome to come to my courtroom anytime. Well, give me a few weeks, but then you can come anytime, okay? All right, court is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh my God. There we are. The verdict is in, the jury has spoken, and the jury has found that Amber Heard's statements against Johnny Depp are defamatory. And they found that one of Adam Waldman's statements against Amber Heard are defamatory. I am not surprised that Amber Heard is trying to get out of that courtroom as quickly as humanly possible with those photographers standing right there. I will talk to you about everything that just happened. We're going to go over the verdict forms. Team Depp is thrilled. Of course they are. This is a massive win for their client on a case that, coming into this in my coverage, I said, I don't know why you take this to trial. How do you win this case? But they knew how Amber Heard would testify, and they knew how she would come across to the jury. And obviously they believed in their client. I am not surprised to see them all hugging. I'm sure they wish they could hug Johnny Depp right now. And hopefully he is with friends that he can celebrate with. But this is 6 years of litigation culminating, and this is the end. We will talk about everything that happened. I am surprised that the jury didn't decide damages on something. Maybe they didn't decide damages on Amber Heard's counterclaim and they had decided Depp's damages. But you guys, yes, Depp's legal team is apparently now in a legal cuddle puddle. It's a cuddle puddle ESQ going on there in the courtroom. And I am sure they are absolutely thrilled. I am sure they are absolutely thrilled. So there we go. I imagine that these parties will negotiate the amount of settlement down and say that, Amber Heard, we're not going to seek the $10 million $350,000 awarded, and you're not going to seek the $2 million awarded. But they have left the courtroom. I'm going to switch feeds real quick. We're not going anywhere. We're here. We have so much to talk about. All right. It looks like we're going to get the lawyers coming out of the courtroom. I'm going to try to turn this down a little so I can talk over it, because right now it's background noise. When the lawyers come out and make statements, we will absolutely be covering the lawyers' statements. So what, if any, wasn't a cure-all, I see? It was not a cure-all. I didn't realize we had 350,000 in the chat. Hi. If you guys want to like and subscribe, I mean, that would be super cool. We just hit 600,000 this morning. I'm just, we're coming for supremacy of Emily on LawTube. It's crazy. We're coming for that gold play button, because then my kids will think that maybe I'm a legitimate YouTuber, things like that. So Johnny Depp was awarded. Let's recap what happened real quick. I'm going to swoop. We're going to do a quick recap. Don't forget to do the subscribing things on the YouTube. Here's what just happened. The jury found that all three of Johnny Depp's causes of action, all three statements were defamatory. Bigger than I thought they'd go. I thought that they would go with the headline. They went with everything. They found that all of Amber Heard's statements in the op-ed were defamatory against Johnny Depp. They awarded Johnny Depp $10 million in compensatory damages, compensation for what was lost in work and other things. $10 million in damages. They then awarded $5 million in punitive damages. $5 million in punitive damages is indicating that they are unhappy. These are the punishment damages. These are the FU damages. In Virginia, what this jury doesn't know is that the punitive damages are capped by law at $350,000. So at the end there, you heard the judge say, we are going to go ahead and limit the compensatory damages back down to that $350,000 dollar amount. So technically, Johnny Depp won $10,350,000, so $10.3 million. Then to the counterclaim, they found that the first statement and the last statement in the counterclaim were not defamatory, but they found that the second statement was defamatory. The rough the place up, spill a little wine. They clearly found that that was defamatory. They awarded Amber Heard $2 million in compensatory damages. They did not find the hoax statements defamatory. Just the roughed the place up, spilled a little wine, called the officers back. I wonder how much it mattered that the officers testified that it wasn't a second call, that they were back out after the first call, and found that statement not to be true. We're going to go through that statement bit by bit after all of these, after all of this comes out and the lawyers make their statements. We'll go back and dive into exactly that. And then they awarded $2 million in compensatory damages, compensation for the damage done. These parties are then going to negotiate damages, and it might be pay my legal fees. It might be, okay, fine. You win $2 million. I win $10,350,000. We'll just deduct your $2 million and you pay us $8, whatever. They're going to have to decide on settlement. Johnny Depp said he didn't want money. He didn't want to punish Amber Heard. I think it's reasonable to seek legal fees, though. I still would. So again, these damages are not $15 million. Don't get it twisted. Law nerds, y'all know the truth. These are not $15 million in damages. Statutory damages on punitives can only be $350,000. So the jury awarded $5 million and the court cut it back down at the end of court to $350,000. $10 million plus $350,000. Y'all know what it is. $10 million plus $350,000. Get ready for all the wrong headlines. Get ready for everyone who didn't pay attention. Get ready for those who didn't understand the assignment. I just got a headline alert from a media outlet. I don't even know which one it was, saying Johnny Depp wins $15 million. Incorrect. Johnny Depp wins $10,350,000, not $15 million, because the jury awarded $15 million, but he can't actually win it. So let's go through some of your questions. How are you guys feeling? Are you good? Are you confused? I'm a little confused, but are you good? So are you good? I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm confused, but I want to go back through that statement and see. So my feelings are don't know what to feel. It's over. 6 weeks of trial with verdicts. It's done. Is that a question, Dr. B, or is that a yes? Okay, yes. So, wow. Let's get to some questions. Everybody's saying 15 million. Everyone is wrong. Technically, the jury awarded 15 million, but legally he only won 10.3. That's me being a picky lawyer because I get to be a picky lawyer. How do they make them pay the settlement? They have to enforce a judgment in court now that we know there's a judgment, but they will probably go into settlement negotiations for the judgment. Would you advise your client to be in court if the other side is not? Only if I'm real confident. But in this case, I think it's real difficult because there's going to be a lot of pictures of Amber Heard looking crestfallen in court waiting for that verdict. And I don't know if those are the pictures you want out. It depends on what their PR strategy is, but it also depends on the client. Amber Heard has a right to look at this jury when they determine this case. She has a right to look at them as they are polled. It was telling that someone who looked at this jury so much, every answer to every question was looking at this jury. When she was sitting there, she was looking at this jury. And then when they came back out after they went back and affixed damages on the verdict forms to sit down and not look at them, she knew. And she knew because her lawyers had seen the verdict forms. They knew they were losing. And they must have known that they won one claim and that they were trying to affix damages to it, I think. Question, isn't it automatically a yes for malice since she said those things about Johnny Depp knowing it was a lie? It's not automatically a yes for malice. The jury has to specifically find it, but that's why they went so far to prove that these things weren't true. But there are circumstances where influencers in the wild right here, there are circumstances where they could have said, look, we think the statements are false, but we think she believed it. But the jury, the defense did not lean into, she believes these things happened. So, you know, she relied on her attorney saying they weren't defamatory. They didn't argue those things. She relied on all of these other things. She believed them. That's not what happened. So no, I don't think malice is ever a given. It's got to be proven. What, if any, pathways for the parties after the verdict? Well, they're going to have to deal with a settlement amount. They're going to have to deal with some of those lingering things. But even with the metadata issues, even with the motions for sanctions, even with the improper argument, this jury said, no, this is defamatory. And I imagine that feels like a huge win for Team Depp. Will they bring in Amber Heard or Johnny Depp on a computer? No. And Amber Heard was there in person. If Johnny loses this case, what do you think will happen? Well, I don't know. We saw him win on everything, which surprises me. What should we expect from Amber Heard's side if they lose? Will motions be made? Motions will be made, but they also won one of the counterclaims. Could each side appeal? Maybe. Will these clients be done? Maybe. They have to do at least $1 for compensation, but they don't have to do anything for punitives. Is there a chance the jury will revise the verdict? No. Once they have a verdict, they're just going to go do it. Melissa, thank you. Shout out to my team at Standout Advocates. You better be watching. That means you, Jasmine. Hello, Jasmine. Melissa sent a super chat to say hello specifically. So hello, Standout Advocates. Thank you, Melissa, for the super chat. Justine, thank you for the super chat. Will we see Amber cry for the first time? I think there were tears rolling. Did you guys see tears? Chat, let me know. I think there were tears rolling, and I'm not surprised. And there's nothing wrong. Amber Heard has already tweeted. What? Oh, well, we're going to go look at that real quick. I think she was crying. I don't know how you can not be crying. So let's go and see what that post is. I'm going to leave this. I'm going to actually mute that real quick. Let's go see. Let's go see. I can't believe that's a good idea. They must have planned it or planned for it. But I don't think that's advisable. I just don't think that's advisable. Why would you do that? All right, let's go see. I'm not going to judge until I see it. I wonder if they had multiple statements prepared. Let's see. The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. How did they this was posted 4 minutes ago. This just happened. There must have been a plan for this is the statement if you win, this is a statement if you lose. Just my speculation. So from Amber Heard on Instagram, the disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence, girl, still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback. I disagree. It sets back the clock to a time when women who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be it sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. Violence against anyone is to be taken seriously. I believe Johnny's attorneys succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech. Defamatory statements are not protected by the Constitution. You don't have a right to defame and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. Look, the UK is a different system of law with a different judge, with a different burden, with a different question. I will talk about the differences in the two in the days to come. I do not have the bandwidth because I will just rant, and I don't want to rant. I don't want to word vomit on you. I want to give you actual like facts. And right now it would just be fuckery. So I will give you that. The evidence in the UK is because the judge disregarded a lot of Johnny Depp's evidence, and the judge took into great weight that the money was donated. I'm sad I lost this case. True. But I'm sadder still that I seem to have lost a right I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly. You can tell the truth freely and openly. Anyone can. The jury decided that what you said is not the truth. That is what they decided. I do not think it sets back the clock. I don't think anyone should be publicly shamed and humiliated. But isn't that the purpose of defamation law, is to make sure that no one is defamed and humiliated on things that are unfounded? And that's what the jury found. And there was a lot of evidence that is painful to Amber Heard's side that was kept out of this case. But this verdict does not change what happens in the UK at all. But there was a lot of evidence that was bad for Amber Heard, including Jennifer Howe's statements, that were kept out. There is evidence with regard to the photos and the photo expert that were kept out. There was a doctor, an entire witness that was kept out. There was a witness for Heard's side that was kept out. This jury saw evidence that was narrowly tailored and constructed based on our system of law, a different system of law than in the UK. And in the UK, the judge seemed to disregard a lot of what Johnny Depp said because he was using substances. This jury was not swayed by that. This jury seemed to believe Johnny Depp based on their verdict. And I realize that that's probably disappointing to Amber Heard. How could it not be? But I don't think it's a setback. I think it is, I think it shows that a jury can sit down and look at the evidence and decide what the facts are. So that's what I think. That's what I think. JD didn't prove a second call or rough the place up. I don't think so either. And maybe that's why they came with this. It wasn't really addressed well. And it really had moments of whose testimony am I thinking of? Josh Drew's testimony was like, look, it was already like this. So Amber Heard did have a lot of witnesses saying this is what Johnny Depp did to the place that she didn't. So nice to see justice prevail. The jury has spoken. What's the difference between punitive and compensatory damages? Punitive or punishment, like, hey, you suck. We're giving this amount of money to tell you that we think you suck. Punishment damages. Don't do this again. This should be enough money to disincentivize you from doing this again. Compensatory are you lost this, and because you lost this, then you're being compensated this. So you lost movie roles, you lost opportunities, whatever you lost, it compensates you for what you lost. Body cam showed nothing, maybe why Amber won count 2. And I think that's possible too. Will Amber Heard have to pay Johnny Depp's legal fees? That is in the compensatory damages if they seek it. Thank you for breaking it all down for us. Happy for Johnny Depp. Stacy, thank you so much. Van Luke, good to see you on the channel. So proud of you. I've been telling all my friends and family to watch you and told my doctor's office about you too. Watching while at the doctor's office. So proud of you. Kept saying, that's my friend, y'all. That's my friend, y'all. Thank you, Van Luke. So good. Love you. And shout out to Dr. Curry. I mean, the chat loves Dr. Curry. Great coverage. Thank you. All trials should be held in Virginia. I don't think they have jurisdiction over everything. Great judge, smart jury, all ages and sexes and life experiences add up to a great jury. I'm sorry Johnny Depp wasn't there to celebrate his win, but that's Johnny Depp. Amber Heard still couldn't shed a tear. I don't know if she was crying or not crying. And again, she has to be gutted. Of course she is. And this jury has spoken. Johnny has a statement on Instagram. Y'all, These PR teams were ready to go in their Balenciennes. The PR teams are like, it's about damn time. All right, let's go to see that. Yeah, we see you. All right. Enough. Enough of the influencers in the wild waiting for press statements. Let me go see what Johnny Depp's statement is. I'm going to screenshot this real quick in case these get altered or come down. The comments are turned off on Amber Heard's statement on I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised they had statements prepared. I just can't imagine how quickly they did this statement. Like, that is quick. All right. This is from 2 minutes ago. This is Johnny Depp's statement on Instagram. 6 years ago, my life, the life of my children, the lives of those closest to me, and also the lives of the people who for many, many years have supported and believed in me were forever changed, all in the blink of an eye. False and very serious criminal allegations were levied at me via the media, which triggered an endless barrage of hateful content, although no charges were ever brought against me. It had already traveled around the world twice within a nanosecond, and it had a seismic impact on my life and my career. I think we can agree that there was an impact, a seismic impact on life and career. And 6 years later, the jury gave me my life back. I am truly humbled. My decision to pursue this case, knowing very well the height of the legal hurdles that I would be facing, high, and the inevitable worldwide spectacle into my life, was only made after considerable thought. I believe that's 100% true. From the very beginning, the goal of bringing this case was to reveal the truth regardless of the outcome. Speaking the truth was something that I owed to my children and to all those who have remained steadfast in their support of me. I feel at peace knowing I have finally accomplished that. And comments on this are not turned off. So there we go. Let's see if these lawyers come out. I imagine that these lawyers will make statements to the media, that they are going to take time to consider what their clients would like them to share, if anything. And there we go. Statements from both shared on Instagram. Instagram, the platform that just doesn't want to verify me. Look, the last time I spoke it out loud with Twitter, it happened. So we're just going to speak things out loud now. We say the word, we say the words, not that it matters. Because y'all, I'm here with you. Also, do just one more time, do the YouTube things. We hit 600K this morning. It's been an incredible journey. I cover pop culture legal cases. If you like that, then we will get that. But there's been over 300,000 of you here live. I can't wrap my head around that. And thank you. There's a second page, Emily. Oh shit. You're like, Emily, keep reading. Okay. I'm going to go keep reading. Girl, keep reading. You just have to say, keep reading. How many times do we do that? Often. We do that often. All right. Second page. We're getting it. Chat, you're so wise. Thank you to my research attorneys here in the chat. I didn't see the little arrow. Thank you, chat. I didn't see it. All right, here we go. Next page. I am and have been. There we go. Well, let's go. Okay. We're going to get back into mode. From the very beginning, the goal of bringing this case was to reveal the truth regardless of the outcome. Speaking the truth was something that I owed to my children and to all those who have remained steadfast in their support of me. I feel at peace knowing I have finally accomplished that. I am and have been overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and the colossal support and kindness from around the world. I hope that my quest to have the truth be told will have helped others, men or women, who have found themselves in my situation, and that those supporting them never give up. I also hope that the position will now return to innocent until proven guilty, both within the courts and in the media. I wish to acknowledge the noble work of the judge, the jurors, the court staff, and the sheriffs who have sacrificed their own time to get to this point, and to my diligent and unwavering legal team who did an extraordinary job in helping me to share the truth. The best is yet to come, and a new chapter has finally begun. Veritas Nanguam Purit, truth never perishes. Johnny Depp, UK, with the date. Second page. We got it. I love the Veritas. I think that I love that he acknowledged the court staff and his legal team, because his legal team did do an excellent job. They really did. This was an uphill battle. Am I not following Johnny Depp? I didn't follow either of them. I didn't follow either of them on Instagram while I was covering the case. I was just covering this. I knew they weren't posting either way. So no, I did not. So I will now, chat. I will do that. Now we're done with the case. Now we can go do the things. Now I am. So with that, there was an acknowledgement of the team that got there, and I don't doubt that Amber Heard's team is upset, but the jury saw evidence in the light most favorable. There was evidence that was very much against Amber Heard that was kept out of this case. And Johnny Depp throughout this entire case has said the truth. Amber Heard has always said my truth. In almost every incident where she has talked about telling the truth, she has talked about telling her truth. And I think it's interesting. I just think it's interesting. Emily seems sad. I'm definitely not sad. I am processing multiple things at once while streaming because I'm curious about how the jury got there on the second statement, and I'm trying to rein my brain back in. But it's a solemn, this is a weighty thing. This case is every detail of somebody's life dragged across the internet. It is millions and millions of dollars of legal work. It is 6 years of these parties litigating, and I just hope that they can all move on. We already did Heard's statement. So I did Heard's statement. I did Depp's statement. Let's go look at the count that Amber Heard won on. I'm going to look at a few questions because I actually, unfortunately, have a hard stop this afternoon. I might be back, but I have a hard stop this afternoon for a few obligations that I had committed to because I thought this verdict was going to come in tomorrow. So I'm going to try to get to a few questions. Just know if you send super chats now, if I cannot get to them, I will try to round them up on a stream when I catch up on those things as best I can. Renee Ritchie, thank you so much. I appreciate that. The fact that there's over 300,000 people on this live, I can't wrap my head around it, but thank you. Question, when the jury was sent back to finish filling out the forms, was there an opportunity to change the verdict? No. And if so, could JD's absence potentially influence the jury? I don't think so, because the judge has already seen the verdict forms and just said, go fill in the damages. So no, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. So let's keep going. I'm going to look at what the claim was that she won and try to parse that a little bit for us. Why did Team Heard ask to poll the jury? This is not uncommon, and either team could have asked, and the judge said, do you want to poll the jury? And it seemed that Elaine Bredehoff was the first one to her mic. We couldn't see from the vantage point we were looking at if Team Depp was. I don't think Team Depp cared because they won all three counts, but polling the jury makes sure that the jury says each person that voted, it's their unanimous vote. So when they poll my brain is moving faster than my mouth. When they poll the jury, they're asking, is this your individual verdict? And I've seen wonky things happen when you poll the jury. I think it's always good practice to poll the jury. It looks like the legal teams might be coming out. I am hearing that it looks like the legal teams might be coming out, and hopefully they will be making a statement to the media. But polling the jury is very common. You want to make sure that that's their unanimous statements. I want to hear what their team has to say. So let's tune in. I'm going to go ahead and swoop. Let's tune in and see if Team Depp has a statement. Oh, the poor sheriffs are like, please don't rush the legal team. This is a lot for this courthouse to deal with. This is a lot of a crowd. This is a very high profile case. And I'm not surprised that the attorneys decided that Team Depp was going to speak to the media first. I'm sure Team Heard will be speaking to the media after. If I'm not here to cover it, I will let you know who is still streaming. So let's see what Team Depp has to say to the media.
Hi, everyone. Today's verdict confirms what we have said from the beginning, that the claims against Johnny Depp are defamatory and unsupported by any evidence. We are grateful, so grateful to the jury for their careful deliberation, to the judge and the court staff who have devoted an enormous amount of time and resources towards this case.
Our judicial system is predicated on each person's right to have his or her case heard, and we were honored, truly honored, to assist Mr. Depp in ensuring that his case was fairly considered throughout the trial. We are also most pleased that the trial has resonated for so many people in the public who value truth and justice. Now that the jury has reached its conclusive verdict, it's time to turn the page and look to the future. Thank you all so much, and thanks to the jury.
Good
Thank
statement.
you so much.
Sweet statement, brief statement. And that is it. And you can hear the media starting to pepper them with questions. I am sure they are going to be inundated with requests. But this team came out and fought, and you can hear it in their voices that this is years of litigation that they have fought. And you can see the public kind of wanting to get a handshake, wanting to congratulate Johnny Depp's legal team. They've become rock stars in this case too. And people have gotten to see lawyers do their best work. And we've seen some funny moments and we've seen some ridiculous moments. You've seen a lot. I mean, maybe this case has kind of humanized the court process for so many of you, but you can hear that of course, these attorneys are a bit emotional. How can you not be trying a case on a public stage like this, fighting for a client that you believe in, and being able to get a verdict that will kind of unshackle them from the last 6 years? Really, that is all any attorney can hope for. I think that we will keep an eye and see if we get anything from Heard's legal team. I saw a new tweet come in from Chanley Painter of Court TV, so I'm going to go take a look at that real quick, and then I'm going to try to answer some questions. So again, the First Amendment protects speech. It does not protect defamatory speech. It protects all kinds of awful speech and people saying mean shit, but mean shit's not defamatory. Lies are defamatory. Damaging lies are defamatory. And that's what the jury found here. So Chanley Painter said the jurors don't want to talk. Shock. With what's going on outside the courtroom, I am not surprised. I was being sarcastic. I am not surprised at all that this jury is like, get us home. Please let us get to our cars. Please don't record us and just let us go. And I'm sure people really want, and I'm sure the public really wants, and the media really wants to talk to these jurors. And the jurors are like, I would like to go back to my life, please. They have been part of the largest trial that I can remember since the OJ case. And I'm not surprised that they just want to go back to their lives for a little bit, because they're still going to have to process what they've been through. I think they don't, let me see. I think they don't think the friends were involved because they heard everything from her, and that's why she won the statement. Maybe. Love your stream. Thanks for the last 6 weeks. Thank you for putting a pin exactly around what I wanted to come back and talk about, because then there was a statement. So I'm going to wait and see if the other legal team comes out. I saw you guys saying that she's whelmed. Overwhelmed, underwhelmed, just whelmed. Let's see if Amber, if the legal team comes out. But let's take a look at what the jury decided. We know that they decided all 3 causes of action for Johnny Depp. Let's look at this counterclaim just a little more closely. Ms. Heard's claim against Depp, they came back on 2. As to the statement appearing April 27th, quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt didn't do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed up the place, got their stories straight under the direction of a lawyer and a publicist, and placed a second call to 911. And they found that statement to be defamatory. They don't believe that this is what went down. I can understand that. I can understand that. That goes to a very specific incident. It goes to, we heard Io's testimony that Io heard Amber and Johnny fighting, and that's why Io called the police. And so they might have been like, no, that's not how this went down. It didn't go down this way. So that's not true. And it's defamatory. So it kind of makes sense, because the other ones are, we've reached the end of the abuse hoax. And then this one being Amber Heard and her friends used the media to fake allegations and use it as a hoax. So they really found those 2, but they do not find that the incident with the police went down the way that this statement said it went down. I think this is a jury who parsed through, and I think this shows that they parsed through the evidence. And they didn't say everyone's innocent here. They parsed through this evidence and said, no, these are the things we find to be defamatory, and we don't find this to be true either. That's a very interesting and I think thoughtful verdict. I might have other thoughts. We're going to have to contemplate this because I'm not surprised. I am surprised. I'm surprised that they found on all three. I'm surprised that they found any on the counterclaim. I'm surprised that they found Wellman was an agent. I am surprised. I'm not unhappily surprised, but I'm surprised. I think there was a lot of confusion over the 911 calls. The internet is reporting there were 2, but the jury only heard of 1. The jury did only hear 1. The jury heard that there was 1 call, and the second set of police showed up connected to the first call. They never heard there were 2 calls. That's a very, very good point. I thought the jury couldn't talk publicly for a year. The jury can choose to talk publicly. They do not have to disclose themselves to the media. They can choose to. What's so interesting is we haven't had a PR statement from Team Heard, and the crowd seems to be gone. The crowd seems to have dissipated. So, the truth never perishes. Well, we'll see. That was what Johnny Depp said. Can Johnny Depp sue the ACLU for defamation? I don't think so. The time is done. This is over. The time period to sue for those statements would have had to happen when he sued for these, and it is done. So we read Amber Heard's statement earlier. Those will be timestamped. I'm going to try to get to a few more super chats and questions. I have a few obligations. If I will probably break this down a bit later, and then we will see if we need to stream again tomorrow just to parse this out. We'll see what happens from here. So let us get to a few questions. Do I think Amber Heard will ever work again? I don't know. I really, truly do hope that both of these parties can get back to their lives. But I think if you are lawyer brain, if you are a production company, if you are a studio, there's liability there, and that might be difficult. So I don't know. I just don't know. Is it different in acting than perhaps in modeling or being the face of a brand? I think brands would have a very hard time right now. So I just don't know. But both parties, I hope, are able to move on, but we'll see. We'll see if notices of appeal get filed within the next few days. We will just have to see. And because there are so many, my chat has just gone, and I can't even get to some of my super chats. So let me try to get to a few more, and then I am going to have to wrap up. I'm going to try to get to the questions that I can. It's done. Can Johnny sue the Sun again? No, Johnny cannot sue the Sun again. This is done. So this is done. We talked about the $86,000 from the ACLU. The ACLU is seeking costs from Johnny Depp with regard to responding to the subpoena. This is not the Sun suing Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp sued the Sun, tried to enforce the subpoena through a lawsuit in New York. And so that's where that came from. They're going to probably negotiate the amount, but this doesn't change that. The ACLU is seeking costs for responding to the subpoena. So it's different. It's different than this. Let me see if I can get just a few more questions. Did everyone leave? It sure looks like everyone left. Hold on. I was trying to get to the one above this and it jumped. It seems like everyone left. Most of the crowds have dissipated. I don't know if we're going to see a Team Heard statement. We might not. Do you think Johnny will sue Disney and Universal next? I think he's done. I think he's absolutely done. I think this is the end. I don't see pursuing further litigation. Thank you for the education over the last 6 weeks. You're welcome. I'm not going anywhere. We will still be here. Why was this trial held in Fairfax and not LA? Jennifer, I have a case brief on this case that breaks down the jurisdiction. It has to do with choice of law. I think it was a smart choice. And the Washington Post has servers and printing presses in Virginia, which is why they were allowed to do it. What if Amber defames Johnny Depp again? They will likely, don't quote me, but likely, file for some kind of an injunction, seeking an injunction to block statements like this, like the one I went through in the Cardi B Tasha K case. So if you want to see how those types of injunctions are crafted, it's there. Could the one count for Amber have been a compromise for a holdout juror? Anything's possible. Or they went through the facts and are like, that's not how that went down. Like, let's be fair. That's not how that went down. And on the evidence they have, I can understand how they get there. Do you think Amber Heard is crying real tears? I'm sure she is. I'm sure she's gutted. I don't imagine that that she's not. I'm sure she's very, very upset. This isn't her lawyer's fault. I'm late. What happened? Oh boy. the court will tell, the chat will tell you a lot. We don't know what was awarded in the UK trial, right? Amber Heard may have come out on top still. I don't know. Amber Heard wasn't awarded anything in the UK because the UK case was between the Sun and Johnny Depp, not between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. So will the op-ed stay up? Asking the real questions. If I'm the legal team for Depp, I am asking the Washington Post to take it down. Absolutely. And we will see. You guys start keeping track of whether that comes down or not. Will the $2 million awarded to Amber Heard be subtracted from what Johnny Depp was awarded? I imagine that's what they'll do when they have settlement discussions. Now they've got to deal with settling the verdict. I'm going to do a speed run and then I've got to jam. Does she have to pay his legal fees? I think that's included in the $10 million. They didn't award legal fees. They just awarded compensation. If they settle for less than the $10 million, which I suspect that they will, I would ask for compensation of the legal fees. I would be like, my legal fees were this. So whatever it is, $6 million, $5 million, $7 million, $10 million, I'd be like, I want you to pay the legal fees. He might not want to. He might be like, I don't want a dime. He might truly say, I don't want anything from you. Leave me alone. Keep my name out of your mouth. Never repeat these things again. I'm not giving you any money. You're not giving me any money. Let's be done. He might. I don't think she will pay her donations now. How will those people deal with it? I think they're just pledges and they're not enforceable contracts. So I think the pledge is not getting paid is where we're at. Maybe she will pay it. Who knows? Do you think the jury could have awarded another $5 million to the $10 million side had they known about the cap? I don't know. I think it sends a message. I think that the punitive damages say, hey, we think what you did is worse. They gave him $5 million in punitives. They gave her 0. They find her behavior worse. That's what those punitive damages say to me. Question, why did she win on count 2? Doesn't defamation mean Waldman knowingly made false statements? Yes. Maybe that's what he believed to be true. The jury didn't agree. The jury did not agree. So sorry about the voice. You guys, this last 6 weeks has been a whole roller coaster. I have a few obligations that I have to get to. I will try to stream again later and catch up on some of our super chats and questions. With that question, won't those pledges count as a verbal contract? No. So I will do my best to be back later on today, but I do have a few obligations that I have to go tend to. Lawnard, you have been amazing. I just want to say to the over 200,000 of you still here, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Look, y'all, you've done crazy things. Crazy things have happened. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for supporting me, bringing you the pop culture legal commentary that not only fills up my heart, but hopefully has brought you a community of like-minded law nerds where you can talk about the pop culture, talk about the law behind it, and try to parse the things that are going on in the world around us. To the international law nerds that have been sleepless over this case, it has been a long 6 weeks. Hopefully the result, and we've banged by 7,000. Hopefully the result feels just to you. Hopefully it feels just to Johnny Depp. And hopefully all of these parties are able to move on. I know for me, we are going to be moving on to other cases. We are not done parsing this one yet, though. I am going to be covering the Jen Shaw trial. That is coming up. She has a criminal white-collar crime trial. We will be covering that. There are other cases that I am still covering. So that is exactly where we're going into the other pop culture law. We have missed a lot going on in the Girardi bankruptcies in those cases. So I am not going anywhere. I will be streaming and breaking this all down. I want to see everything that comes out in the next few hours and then break that down. And I am going to try to be back with you. So if you are part of the text crew, I will let you know. If you are following me on the socials, I will let you know. At the Emily D. Baker everywhere. We're just, at this point, it's like, hey, thank you for being on this channel and choosing me to do your legal commentary with you. I think it has been really incredible to get to share my courtroom knowledge and my love of cursey words and purple hair and pop culture with so many of you. It has just been, it's been an honor. So with that, we will see if any motions are filed. There will be more to come. We are not done. The verdict is in. but it does not mean that we are done. And with that, I will be back with you all over the social medias. There will probably be another stream this evening after I go and attend to a few things. But with that, the verdict is in. Johnny Depp won 3 counts. Amber Heard won 1 count. But the jury spoke loud and clear in this case that they believe that Johnny Depp was defamed by Amber Heard. And with that, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a Lawnerd. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Happy kickoff to Pride Month. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye. Connect with me everywhere. I'm at the Emily D. Baker. If you guys want to join the text, just text Emily.com. If you want to join the channel, LawNerdsUnite.com. Happy to have you. Support what we do here on the YouTube.